Okay. Can we get this to work? Overlay 1, easy. Now?
I don't have my
Hello.
voice recorded is the only thing. Hello,
hello
Alernakin.
everybody. Welcome
Hi.
to episode 10, actually it is. Episode 10 of Champions Corner. The premium For Honor podcast. One of the many For Honor podcasts, but this one is the best.
Yeah, this is the best.
It's been many... do you want to get kicked? Okay, whatever. It's been many months since the last one. I think it's been like a month and a half, actually. But we're back, because something actually happened. Matching Fire. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about 2v2 tournament that happened. And I think that's mostly it, unless we think of something on the spot. And also, for everybody who's watching on Twitch, you can ask in the chat, just at me any questions. And yeah, we can answer them during the show or after the end of the show during the Q&A. And if you're watching on YouTube as well, then just ask us questions in the comments, and maybe we can ask them. We can answer them later in the next episode. Okay, so here with me today are two very handsome and very partnered streamers, Zero Crack and Setback. Now, Setback, how's the partner life been treating you?
It's alright.
Amazing. You've been very purple recently, both in mind and in body as well.
Emotionally too.
Emotionally, okay. So we'll be watching some of Purple Setback in a bit, but now let's move on to the news. Now, obviously, what happened is Matching Fire launched with everything that it launched with. So I'm sure you all know that. There was also a 2v2 tournament that happened today. I think it just finished like an hour ago or something. Crack ended up playing with. And so, Crack, do you have anything interesting to, or has anything interesting actually happened in the tournament?
I mean, like we were talking earlier, it wasn't, everyone scrimming for a week and then there was a Mistress Mayhem standard. But it was just nice to see the new heroes used by players that know how the game works mechanically. Well, not like in MM where they're not doing things very right. I mean, no one really had all the stuff down properly, which I think is kind of evident by the fact my Jiang landed so many attacks.
There were many attacks.
People obviously were not comfortable with the new heroes quite yet.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see Devoured on Tiandi because he looked like he was really good for punishes, not taking damage, baiting attacks with the iframe and dodge. And he was hard to hit.
Okay.
And then we had there was Tiandi. Shaolin. Shaolin was interesting. Shaolin was better than I thought. His key stance was better than I thought. Stay alive. There was a lot of there was some external crushing counters. The range on his undodgeable side dash heavy out of the key stance was fucking insane.
Yeah, that's his definitely strongest tool in 4v4 and then 2v2 as well.
Yeah, it was really, really good. I could see it, and it was really, really good. I didn't realize it was that strong.
If only you could chain from it, huh?
Oh.
If only you could chain, yeah. I mean, no one would suggest such a thing, surely.
Never.
And Jiang wasn't as bad as I thought, but at the same time, I think it'll be a few more weeks, and those gamers probably won't have the same issue with him, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think if you go back, or maybe if you go forward and make like one more tournament that's $200 prize pool, $400 prize pool, and you give us like a month, then we're gonna go back to Kensei, Kong, Nobushi Kong being the two possible compositions.
Sure.
And that's about it, I think.
It's hard. I don't see anyone breaking that comp.
Yeah.
To be honest. I know it was good to see like there are people who are viable, but they're not meta.
Yeah, there's a decent amount of characters now that you can play differently. Alright, so just to do my due diligence, I think... Wait, who won the tournament? I assume Barakat with...
Yeah, Bara and Eternity won it. I think against Itachi and Otto.
Okay, so Itachi and Otto in the finals against against Barakat and Eternity, right? I think that was what, Shaolin, Nobushi against Nobushi Conquer?
Yeah, I imagine so, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't get to see the finals, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, unless they changed their composition.
Yeah.
I was watching until the finals as well. So that was that. There was also a Gladiator team, a Gladiator Nobushi team in that tournament, which was fun. But aside from that, yeah, the appearance of a few different characters was interesting, but I think none of them are necessarily good enough to be in the meta, which we'll be talking about in a bit as well, because obviously this is a Marching Fire edition of the podcast. So okay, I think that's about yeah. How did you where did you place, Greg?
Got knocked out in winner semifinals.
That's pretty good. It's like top 5, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. And yeah, I think Devour and Kawaii were playing Tiandi and Shinobi, and a few other people are playing different compositions. I think Clash and Settings were playing Nobushi Warden, but I think they were just also playing different compositions just for fun. But
yeah,
Shaolin. Yeah, but I think they ended up playing Nobushi Warden in the last game.
Yeah.
Alright, so I think that's about it. I don't think there were any other tournaments that happened in the past month and a half. So that's the big one that happened. Now let's go to what now? Let's talk about Marching Fire. So Marching Fire came out, and there's 4 new characters. There's a breach mode, new mode, right? And there's perks, and there's feat nerfs, and I think that's is there anything more that's been added? A new gear, obviously, and the enhancements and graphics. But I think that's about it when it comes to
arcade mode.
Shit, UI.
And no changes to UI in game.
No changes. Shout out to the UI team, by the way.
Shout out to the UI team.
Hope he's watching. And now we can talk about. Okay, let's start with. Okay, I have this planned out. Let's talk about arcade mode first, because this is like the smallest thing that was added to.
Hey, whoa, smallest.
On my channel, the biggest. I made one video, it took me 30 minutes to make. I have the most amount of views on
That's where I was going with this, yeah?
Yeah, actually, you're right. It's the biggest thing that's been added for the content creators in this community. Give me a second. The arcade mode. So I'm just playing my own video because I'm showing on my own channel my own videos. So arcade mode. Have you guys played it much, or haven't you?
Yeah, I beat it on Legendary with no gear with Kawaii.
Holy shit, you're good. Oh, I thought you were just gonna say I beat it on Legendary, and I was gonna compliment you, but
with Kawaii. No. I cannot beat it on Legendary. That is not possible with no gear.
Okay. How was it? Was it fun? I bet it wasn't.
No, we had to.
All right, moving on. Next topic.
We use Shigoki critical health and kiting.
No, not the kiting.
Yes, the kiting. I'm so ashamed. Please don't expose me on YouTube.
I'm gonna cut it out for YouTube. Don't worry.
Take it away, Craig.
Oh, please, cut it out. Cut it out, please. Cut the mic.
Cut the mic. All right, so Seba, have you played it? I know we were going to play it. I think maybe we can play it soon, but I don't think we've played it yet. So
I played it a little bit, yeah.
How was it?
It was not great. It was okay, if not bad. That's how I feel about it.
Okay, even not bad. And this is amazing. This is going really well. Well, I played it for pretty much the duration of the video. I played for 30 minutes. I had one somewhat difficult modifier, somewhat difficult stage, I guess, or quest, or whatever they're called. It took me 15 tries, so that's 10 to 15 minutes, and then I realized, oh, so you're supposed to just not attack, and then I stopped attacking, and then I won. And everyone in my comment section was telling me how lucky I was that I wasn't getting really bad modifiers. So I guess people are...
I mean, you can get unlucky with modifiers,
Yeah, you can get really unlucky. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's necessarily worth the $30, right, that the expansion is.
I can't recommend it for 30.
No.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not for me.
Yeah, definitely not. But I do know that a lot of people do like it, in the competitive community even, for whatever reason, I don't know.
Well, I mean, you get all you get 60,000 still worth of heroes in that 30.
Yeah, I mean,
if you were gonna play all of them anyway, then
yeah, I mean just for the arcade mode. I mean just for the arcade mode. I think it's fun to play every now and then, but I wouldn't necessarily play it 2 hours a day or something. I would just maybe play it once a week. Maybe they have the weekly quest thing that they haven't done anything with, right, so far. So maybe they're gonna have something interesting with that, where they're gonna have weekly modifiers where you get a nice reward for doing them. Maybe something like that.
Yeah, I think that would definitely incentivize that. But that's not solving the core issues with the mode, of course, but at least it makes it more tolerable.
Yeah, it doesn't solve the issues, but what it does is it creates an incentive, so you might want to suffer through it. for maybe some specific gear or whatever they would whatever the reward would be. Probably just more XP or more steel or whatever Ubisoft comes up with, but I assume there would be something like that. But yeah, generally speaking, I think that a lot of people do enjoy it, or maybe not enjoy it, do like it, but I'm not sure if they necessarily enjoy it. It's just like, I think a lot of people like the challenge of it, which is, no, sometimes it can be somewhat interesting, but the issue is that the challenge, at least for me, the challenge has always been how few buttons can you press, pretty much, right? Like, the easier modifiers, you can just press however many buttons you want. The more difficult ones, you just don't press any buttons. That's about it. It doesn't seem like the difficulty is necessarily in anything that's like interesting. It's more like how many buttons can I not press, and then you don't press that many buttons. Especially, also, I'm not a big fan of, and maybe you guys can tell me what you think about that. But what do you guys think about the fact that there's such huge gatekeeping with the arcade mode, where if you have 0 gear, you just kind of play it. Obviously, like, you can, like, if you're like super hardcore, I guess you could play it at the highest difficulty, the legendary with 0 gear. But
it's not possible on the highest difficulty with 0 gear.
I think that Kawaii and Weeaboo did it on the highest difficulty with 0 gear.
With solo?
No, with in co-op.
Yeah, I did it co-op as well, but solo it's not possible.
Yeah, very much that's very much probable. So then, like, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I don't think I like it that you have to have played your character for however many hours it takes for 144 gears. So that's whatever, like 30, 45, 50 maybe hours.
Yeah,
just so that you can play.
I think it's too steep.
Yeah, I like the idea that it's, obviously the higher difficulty, the more difficult it is, but I don't like that it's with gear. I mean,
maybe the difficulty comes from the wrong place, just damage.
Yeah, there's so many issues with it. I mean, like the whole like gatekeeping thing is terrible because they kind of sold this as like an alternate path to like progress your character and get steel, get cosmetics, get gear, but then you're like stuck in the super easy version for a while, and then the second easiest version for a while. Like, it's so slow if you actually want to progress your character. You can't actually try to kind of grow beyond what Ubisoft thinks you should be able to grow, and have a challenge, which I think is terrible. And then the other thing is, it's like you said, Alernakin, it's all about how many buttons can I not push is usually the determining factor if you win or not. And that's very just kind of the core issue with For Honor in any game mode is pushing buttons. Usually it's a bad idea. There are exceptions, but I don't know.
I think it was also sold to me by people who have played it early that it was going to be like much more interesting in the way that like some characters would actually do like correct ganks and things like that. Or I was hoping that was going to be the case. Oh,
that right? The AI revamp that people teased about.
Yeah, I was hoping that was going to be the case. Yeah, I was hoping that was going to be the case. That I'm not sure if the devs ever said anything like that, but I heard some things that and you apparently did as well. That hopefully the bots were going to be actually like doing the correct things, and then a new player, not nearly a new player. I don't think new player would enjoy that, but an intermediate player can be like, oh, okay, so that's what you're supposed to be doing instead of whatever the bots end up fucking doing. Like, I think Shaman bots still like throw into the dash heavy on Garbage or some shit. I'm pretty sure.
Sometimes they just throw you down and guard break whiff as you fall down.
Yeah,
this is like the high tier, like level 3 bots will do it every once in a while.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess that's a more like deep issue with the AI in general. That just I was hoping the arcade was gonna work. I was gonna fix, but it clearly didn't. But yeah, I mean, I know that many people do enjoy it, but then I know that a lot of people in the comment section of my video that I made about arcade were just like, you're really lucky because I had to suffer through this, and this, and it was not fun at all, and I hate arcade mode. Right? A lot of people were saying that, and I don't know. Like, the arcade mode is what they're trying to sell Marching Fire with, right? Because new heroes is kind of like, well, you can wait a few weeks and get them anyway. So then it doesn't seem to be really doing its job. And if that was the case, if that's what they were trying to do with it, but alright. So that's the arcade. I think again it can be somewhat fun if you just play it every now and then, or if you try to look for a challenge. But when you're trying to just like play, with low gear against high level difficulties or something like that, especially with a friend. But other than that, it's kind of like, you just don't press buttons and then you win.
I think like what you said, like the friend thing. I think that's a big reason why some people like it. I think it can be. I mean, it's with any game, right? Playing it with a buddy is can be way more enjoyable. It may actually not have a lot to do with the game itself, but the person you're playing with. But I can see playing with a friend that could be pretty fun.
Yeah. Well, so I think that's about it for the arcade mode. Now, what else? What's the next one? Let's talk about the characters next. So the 4 new characters. Let me play the purple setback in the background as we do this. There's the purple setback. The
Twitch partner,
Twitch partner, by the way, really doing really well in life.
Great job, great job.
Oh, I started at the moment where I host you.
even when you play someone else's clip, you gotta get yourself promotion in. That's very good.
Easy shilling myself in someone else's stream and then shilling myself again on my own stream from their stream, so that's good. But so there were 4 new characters. I think you and me, you and I, Sebak, have played most of Shaolin, so we can talk about Shaolin first and then we can move on to other characters. But Shaolin, Nuxia, Tiandi, and JJ, so Shaolin first. So what do you think of Shaolin in general?
They're by far my favorite character in the game. I like playing them a lot, and I think it's by far the most cohesive and well-designed character they've made, at least personally, for me. They still have issues, of course, but I think a lot of things that they did were kind of happy accidents that just kind of worked out, but I like them. I like them a lot.
I see. So I'm just trying to stop at a good moment there for a second.
Okay, great job.
So have you played them in 4v4 match, or have you mostly played duels?
Yeah, that's mostly. I actually have barely done duels with them. I've probably done like 15 duels total.
Oh, and you're still the 6th best player. Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So what do you think about him in 4v4? Breach, I don't know if you played Dominion or not.
I have not done Dominion with him in the live version.
Okay.
So just Breach. I think that's his. I think he's against a lot of characters, especially reflex guards. I think he's pretty strong against them in 1v1s, but in 4s he's kind of underwhelming. But he's still better than a lot of characters. But he's not like Lawbringers. I'm not gonna be running around doing teleporting 600-meter impales into instantly deleting somebody.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame.
Yeah, I wish he had that. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Well, he has a running kick. It's just not that good.
I think I've used it once, and I think it was an accident. I did it another time to kick someone out of a healing zone. That was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, he's okay in 4s. I think his feats are really interesting. They actually did a good job with his feats, and they're pretty strong. When it comes to like assisting ganks, the whole your ally guard breaks, and then you do the delay triple stab. Mm-hmm. That's pretty useful. That's better than a lot of characters can do.
Yeah.
But other than that, he's just gonna get blocked a lot. You might be able to sneak in a top light really quick, especially once again against reflex characters. But he's not the best in ganks. But he's okay in team fights. He's not bad there either. So he's basically good. He's not amazing, but he's good.
All right.
And you can do different things with him, and it's fun.
All right. Yeah, generally in 4v4, I think if he got some more changes, like being able to dodge out of key stance, being able to chain after his sidelights maybe out of key stance for something like that, so that they have actually some use except for just flashing Counter-Strike, right?
Yeah.
So that the single one use of a character's tool isn't only defensive, like the game's always pretty much banned.
Yeah.
And then having maybe after his dodge heavies being able to chain, and then obviously like lowering the damage of the sidelights instead of 24, making them back to 22 or 21, and nerfing his tier 3. Nerfing his tier 3, but at the same time buffing his tier 1. I think that'd be nice. If they, for example, with his tier 1, the trap or whatever, if they did it so that with your tier 4 you could teleport to it, that'd be interesting, for example. So there's a lot of things that hopefully they could do, but I'm not sure if they will. And I think in Breach he's definitely like the best out of the characters. That's definitely his best mode. Obviously maybe duels, but like not counting duels. I think
no, for sure.
Breach is his best mode, as it's more about small scale battles, which is where he's a little bit better. and there's more 1v1s, there's more like 2v2s, which he's pretty okay at as well. There's a lot of situations where people are low as well, trying to go heal, which again Shaolin is really good at killing those people as well, chasing people down in general, things like that. So that's nice, but I think he does have some issues that are pretty apparent when you play a little bit more Breach or Dominion or whatever. He doesn't have any external pressure, like for example Conqueror has, for example, or something like that. Or even like Lawbringer with Garbage into Impale, or Nobushi with Garbage into Bleed, for example, right? He doesn't really have any of that. Obviously, he can Garbage into the triple sidelight, right? But that's more of a ganking rather than a teamfight tool. And he does have really good range with his undodgeable heavy, and that's like his main thing in teamfights. That and his like top light that he can interact with. But other than that, he doesn't really deal that much damage in teamfights. But with his tier 3 feed, he is really good in this. So then, once he gets his tier 3, he heals everybody every time he gets parried, which is amazing and broken and should not be a thing, especially since he has an undodgeable, and the only way to make someone not heal every time you get blocked, parried, or you hit someone is dodge it, and then he has an undodgeable. So that heals for 12 health every time he does any of those things in the vicinity of 5 meters. So he heals himself and his entire team pretty much every team fight. He heals on parry, on block, and every time he hits someone out of keystance, with his tier 3. That's why it's way too strong. So I think that's mostly Shaolin. Like I think he's just not good enough to be played in tournaments in any modes. I think the change. I agree with all the changes you said. The chaining after the undodgeable, making it so the key stance side lights can do something other than just being crushed in counters. That's it. I think with just and dodging out a G stance, I think those 3 things would definitely help him a lot and make him more flexible and be able to cope with lots of different team fight situations. Even then, though, I'm not sure if that would be enough. I think he'd be super close. Yeah, it probably wouldn't be. It probably just wouldn't be close enough. But I think that maybe once we nerf Shaman, or if that happens ever, and maybe in Breach any of the characters end up being like too strong, or maybe Breach ends up being like not well made enough to the point where maybe they change some things about it. Then maybe he's going to fit more in that, because I think Breach right now is a little bit too focused on mid, like on how many minions, how much renown, you get for killing minions, things like that. So once maybe that's fixed, if that's fixed, then maybe there's more things you can do around the map to get renown. Maybe he's going to be better at that because of his really good feats that, really good for rotations, and his just movement speed that's really quick, right? His sprint speed. Well, alright, so now we can move on to Jiang. Mr. Crack, I'm sure you've been waiting to talk about this.
Oh yeah, all my life.
All your life you've been waiting to talk about this character, so I shall give you the microphone here.
Well, I mean, I think probably everyone in chat knows that he's absolutely trash in 1v1, because there's his intended mix-up of dash forward heavy into the shin kick, soft feint bash. Can be all the options coming from that can be stopped countered by 1 timing, so 1 dodge for the whole thing. The dodge will avoid the top heavy, the kick, and if he hard cancels into a guard break, you'll also be able to counter guard break. 1 dodge. So that's that entire thing gone. His dodge heavy attack has really high GB vulnerability. It's a bit strange. I'm not sure if it was intended.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And I mean, he's soft feint. The other 400 MS thing that was touted as great for him always comes from the same side and is pretty easy to parry for the good gamers I've come across. And I mean, that's it.
Yeah, his unblockable.
In 1v1, that's it.
Yeah, his unblockable has absolutely no pressure, and his forward dodge heavy has no pressure, and those are his 2 things. He does have pretty good damage, right? Like his punishes
he's got some really good punishes.
Yeah, his heavy parry punish is like 4 damage higher than Valk's light parry punish. I think it's one of the highest ones if you don't count like Lawbringer's Impale.
Yeah, and I mean even his OS GB punish is really good.
Yeah. But
if you can manage to land it, that is, because they can just dodge the like the mix-up to get someone into that is the forward dash heavy shin kick.
Mm-hmm.
But if the person knows the dodge timing, well, you can't get it.
Yep.
So.
But yeah, his punishes are really good. His damage is really nice. But he doesn't have any way of dealing the damage. It's kind of like, well, Aramusha has good damage, but again, no way of dealing it, right? But so that's 1v1. But what about his 4v4 possibilities and his potential in 4v4?
In 4v4, I think if things get a bit chaotic, like in team fights, let's say, I think he'd be good in team fights. When it's but if it's a 2v2 scenario and they're experienced players and they're not uncomfortable with the character being around, then he's going to be pretty ineffective. But what he's got going on in 4v4 then, of course, is feats the character. We've mentioned, so if he's in a team fight or he's in a 2v2, or even if it's like a 2v4 and both heroes are taking a lot of damage, if he can get a bit of breathing space because there's 4 opponents around, he can pretty much insta-heal himself and the guy with him to full health, or he can get an attack buff of 25% for both of them. They maybe get revenge activations. He makes outside of, let's say, shaman ganks, he makes ganking him and the other teammates, like fighting those 2v4s or 2vx's and stuff, like extremely hard.
Yeah, for those who don't know, his feats, like his tier 1 and tier 3, the way they work is they give you more depending on how many enemies are around. So if there are 4 enemies around, you get 25% attack buff with his tier 1, and you get 85 health with his tier 3. You and your entire team, and the entire team around you, of course, gets 85 health at the highest if there's 4 enemies around. Now at the lowest, that's fine. At the lowest, they get, I think, 25, which is still a lot, or 15. Either way, it still counts as bleed. So even if it is 15 or 25, it's still really good. I think it's 25. I'm not exactly sure. And then at the lowest, the attack buff is very low because it's only 5%
base, no one around, right? So 10% if there's an enemy there.
Yeah, 10% there's one enemy, and so yeah, basically as Jiang, you want to be using your feats, especially your tier 1 and tier 2, if there's enemies around. And
a lot of weird stuff with him too on some punishes. There's some inconsistencies with the hero as well. Like, it's worth mentioning, his hitboxes are garbage. And the hitbox he does have are in kind of weird places around him. And lots of funny stuff, like with the environment and the slap and the kick and stuff. Like, I've noticed it's very hard to get the kick to body spat off a teammate or the wall spat off a teammate for some reason. I don't know why. Was when I was playing with Clutch the other day. Another time, if you're at a weird angle for the wall on the slap or whatever, the bitch slap, they can slide along the wall sometimes. Instead of splatting. I mean, there's some weird business with the hero.
Yeah, there's just there's
some stuff going on with target swaps too, where you might be locked onto someone else, but you'll attack someone else normally. And there's some other stuff where you can parry his externals.
Yeah. Yeah,
basically.
So like he's a magnet for slapping walls when he's trying to hit other people, and then
his only hitboxes are teammates and walls. Those are his hitboxes.
Really good. And then also his zone can hit people directly behind him, almost on like the first frame of startup, I think. But I want people to hit people in front of him sometimes, which is really cool. I think I like that.
Yeah, it also has like very low range. Doesn't track that far. His like unblockable heavies track really far forward, right? But they don't track even to the size that well. And it's just like, wasn't I supposed to be like a good team fighter? Like when we played JJ, like, wasn't I supposed to be the good one? And then you like see on the bushy like kill everybody, and like I want that. I want to be that.
I scrimmed against Tachi and Auto today before the tournament. They were playing Kensei and Nabushi.
And two better Jiang.
Yeah, and when they had hitboxes everywhere, and I was getting so fucking tilted.
Yeah,
it was horrible.
Yeah, but well, yeah. Again, like Jiang is feats and damage the hero, so that's
that's
about it. it's really a shame because he was supposed to be this 1vx like team fight hero, and then it doesn't.
I mean, they even sold it as a negative thing because they were like showing him off the first time. It's like, he's not great at 1v1s, but let me tell you about those team fights. He's gonna be fantastic. Oh, he sucks at both.
Oh,
never mind.
They never mentioned his feats. I hope they. I hope at some point they were like, oh, his feats are gonna be really bad, but his team fighting potential is going to help with that one.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised, but yeah, it's just a shame. But I mean, it is fixable. Like all of this isn't really difficult to fix. But
yeah, it's not crazy hard stuff to fix the character, which is good too. It's not like really bad fundamental stuff.
Then again, Shaman is also not very difficult to fix, and it's been a while, hasn't it?
Please learn. I have some hope.
Oh, yeah, you're
being toxic.
Rep 60, you're right. So
Rep 6 Jiang destroys Rep 60 Orochi
with facts and logic.
Oh no. Well, I think that's Jiang done. Is there anything else? I guess there isn't. I think we've already talked about this. Strong hero, not bad, but it isn't before. But
one important thing. Yeah. What's the report on the JJ fashion?
I like his cape. And you can get a little one of his head things as well. It can be like a little mini cape, but on his ponytail. So you have two capes, one on your head and one on your back. And they both move together when you see food. It looks really fun.
That's cool.
Damn, that's really good.
Yeah, I'm really impressed how they pulled him off animation-wise, and his general look. I think his armor sets are pretty boring for the most part, but just how he looks in general is pretty cool.
The weird thing about his armor sets is there's a lot of material that doesn't change. It just stays brown, like brown styrofoam. I don't know why.
I mean, you have a problem with that?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of brown styrofoam.
Oh, okay, all right.
An accident.
So we gotta move on.
Yeah, this is
big styrofoam business.
Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. That's about it.
I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. This happens every time.
This happens every time.
You knew that Big Styrofoam sponsored this podcast, and yet you said it anyways.
Yeah. I finally landed a sponsor, and you're doing this. Oh, thanks, bro. Well, has anyone played Tiandi? Like, can I pull up a VOD of someone playing Tiandi or a video of someone playing Tiandi? Let's see. Marching Fire Tiandi. This is raw.
All right. What'll YouTube bring up, dude?
It's gonna be really hard because Tiandi is such a complex character.
Oh, cannons out. There we go.
All right, here goes.
This is raw footage. You get this. This is the.
Thank you. That's very helpful, Verbosity.
You picked my bad Jules video as well, Aaron.
What?
You picked my bad Jules video, dude.
Yeah, to show the character.
Why? We could have made him look so strong. That was a laggy raider, and he knew he could just sit there and react. It wasn't fair.
No, it wasn't fair. Yeah, you're right. All right, so now Tiandi. Have you guys played them? I don't think you have, right?
I have played.
I've played a lot of Tiandi in the tests, but not in since release.
Okay. So, what do you think about him? Having played or not played him, or maybe having played against him?
I think he's strong. I think he's good.
No.
I'm not a fan of his playstyle. I would like him to be a little weaker defensively and a little stronger offensively. I think he'd be perfect. I'm not really sure how to go about that, but that's how I feel about him. He's extremely tough nut to crack. I think he'll be a big staring contest boy.
Yeah, he doesn't really have any offense either. Like his only offense is his second light, and that's just like again.
He'll land a palm strike, once every 2 duels or something against really good players.
That's actually pretty good. Yeah. Never mind.
So it's like a slightly worse Warlord headbutt.
Slightly.
Because you can't crash and charge, just Tiandi.
But yeah, like his offense is very mediocre. Palm strike, all that palm strike really does is it allows him to go into his second line.
Yeah,
that's about it. Which I mean, that's I guess one way to make the offense somewhat okayish. But just having one thing is just so boring, especially when that one thing is not even original. It's just like literally, oh, your light is good. take it. That's all you got.
I mean, he's a decent mullier with heavy as the lights.
Yeah.
The animation's not being too different.
Yeah, his damage is okay.
He's just strong.
Yeah, he's boring but strong.
Boring and strong.
Yeah, he's pretty safe. I do like the change they did where he can follow a whiff. That's nice.
Yeah, that's a good change.
I wish almost everyone could do that. I hate just like you did one thing correctly. Here's your free punish. Like I like layers in mind games. I think that's cool.
Yeah. I agree with Mr. Setback very strongly.
Yeah, the 6th best duelist in the world knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So, how about him in 4v4? Now, his feats, how someone thought at Ubisoft that giving another character morale booster is fine, I do not know. But he has morale booster, which is very fun. Very fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, 50% damage increase. Just in case attack buff wasn't enough.
Let's nerf catapult though.
It's nerf catapult and arrow storm, but morale booster is pretty okay.
And let's nerf fucking Highlanders AC 130 storm. Wink. Just kidding. We didn't.
No, we did. Now when you get hit, it takes you.
You can survive it.
It takes a little bit longer for you to die. So next time you know what you died to.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's true. Shout out to you, IT.
Yeah, shout out to you. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like in 4v4, like his feats again. Like I'm not a big fan of adding even more fucking morale boosters to the game, but that's an issue with morale booster. He has protected revive as well, and he has really good perks to work with protected revive and with morale booster because he has rising dawn, which is the one that makes it so that when you revive someone, they spawn at 75% health. And he has the perk that makes it so that every time you get a kill or even a takedown, which is also an assist, and every time you get a revive, you get 5% of your active cooldowns on your feats back.
Oh no.
Which means that once he gets his tier 4, right? Once he gets his tier 4, now he gets it again in like 2 minutes instead of 3 minutes, right? Or 2 minutes and a half. And with Protected Revive and Rising Dawn, he's going to be getting a lot of revives, and those revives are going to be really good. And now, of course, he's going to be having that. So I think early on in Breach, he's probably going to be playing with Come At Me and Doom Banner or something like that, so that he can get a lot of renown safely against the minions. And then once he gets his tier 4, he just goes and kills everybody.
I didn't think about that. That's cool. Well, that's not cool.
Yeah,
but...
it's not.
It's like morale booster after 3 minutes in a 15-minute match.
All right, we're about to break the first gate. Oh, we're all dead.
Oh wait, they've got morale booster every 100 seconds for the rest of the match.
Yeah. With Come At Me, I'm pretty sure Pikemen give you 18 renown. They should, right? Because it's 50% increase in renown. So for 30 seconds, I think it is, they should give you 18 renown. So you can kill 1 wave of minions, and that's 15 minions. That's the limit, by the way. If you didn't know that, I made a video about that, and easy shilling myself again. So then you get that, and then you get Doom Banner, so that you can kill the minions a lot easier with one zone. And so 15 times 18 is 270, which is what you need to get from tier 3 to tier 2 to tier 3 almost. You need to get 330, I think. So you just need like 2 kills and you're there after killing 1 wave of minions with those feats. So that's nice. That's very nice. And what about him as a character in 4v4? What do you guys think?
I haven't played enough, but he seems pretty okay. Seems pretty decent. I mean, his weakness in 4s is he's not a right ganker, is he? Like, he's pretty decent 1vx. He seems okay in team fights, like for punishes and stuff.
I mean, he's like a figure skating gladiator, right? Like he just palm strikes, and that's like optimal. Gank is palm strike into heavy or something.
It's literally toe stab, yeah. Because it also stops them from getting revenge, or from popping revenge. So it's the same thing. He's also very loud, especially the Tiandi, the female.
Oh, he's very loud. I actually died to a female Tiandi today because it was so loud I was distracted and couldn't block.
Unlucky.
Unlucky. So his ganking is mediocre. His team fights are okay because he has the undodgeable lights, and those are nice punishes.
Yeah.
So like whenever Nobushi sidewinders or something like that, you can use that. And I don't know, like his feeds obviously, as we said, like extremely strong, way too strong. Morale booster should not be a thing.
Just say he's a strong all rounder, right?
Yeah, he's like pretty good. He's kind of like a berserker that's a little bit worse, or like Zerker's kind of like pretty good at everything, right? Really good 1v1, really good 1vx, really good 2v2, really, pretty okay team fights, pretty good ganking. So Tiandi is that, just like a level lower and everything, pretty much. I think maybe team fights are similar because he can punish a little bit easier. Better, yeah, feats, of course, morale booster. So then he's kind of like worse at everything except he has better feats.
And he has static guard, which helps in some situations.
Yeah, that's true. So I think that's about it for Tiandi. I think like when it comes to like verdict on like what tier he is, I probably would say he's around like A overall.
I'd agree with that.
Mid, low A. That's somewhere where he is, I think. When it comes to, I think, since we talked about Shaolin and Jiang as well, I forgot to talk about the like placement of the tier list. I would assume the Shaolin is probably like low S maybe in 1v1, something like that. I don't think 1v1 matters too much, but like high A, low S, I think. Around like Shinobi level, I think he is. And then for 4v4, I think he's about like mid A maybe in Breach, and then low A in Dominion, I would think. Because in Dominion his feats are like, it's harder to get his feats. So the like, but yeah, probably I would say like mid, low A when it comes to 4v4. Jiang I would probably say like high A in Breach maybe, and then like mid A, low A in Dominion. Just because in Dominion it's gonna be more difficult to get his feats, and he provides nothing else. Like Lawbringer or Warden that have really strong feats, they provide other things as well. Warden provides okay team fights, good 1v1, good 2v2, and Lawbringer provides ganks. And J&J provides, I don't know, like
revenge the enemy team.
Yeah, and he provides then wiggling at the opponent with his finger.
Zone cannon from off screen, man. That's the way to do it. You go behind him, you whiff a light, and you come from off screen. Okay, 45 damage, bitch.
All right. Someone asked, I think Tiandi is set up to be a meta Dominion pick, edging out Warden due to Battlecry. Do you think you will see him in future 44 tournaments? Battlecry is now better than Second Wind, and he doesn't have Second Wind. And in Dominion, Protected Revive is also a little bit worse than it is in Breach, especially on attackers compared. And so that's about, I don't think he's going to be a meta. I don't think any of the characters are going to be 4v4 meta picks.
But wait, we haven't talked about the fourth new champion.
Who's that?
Is there a fourth?
Oh wait, yeah.
Peacekeeper with a special guard break? It doesn't work.
oh, you mean the deflectable deflect?
Yeah. Oh, did I tell you that I monk crushing countered the Nuxia deflect?
Yeah.
I actually go back and look. It was in Breach, and I just guessed the direction, and I got it right and killed him. It's like, hey, thanks for deflecting me.
Thanks for giving me the free damage. Yeah, like making a blockable deflect is a very interesting design choice, and it's clearly a design choice because they have not fixed it. And it's clearly a design choice also because they made it so they can switch.
Wait, is this console Nuxia?
I'm not sure. Is it? Maybe it is. Let's watch some high. Let's watch some high level.
Traps viable.
Traps viable. So it's clearly meant to be blockable because it's you can switch sides with it. So yeah, they mean for it to be a blockable deflect, which is a very interesting design choice, and they also apparently mean for it to be a deflectable deflect, which is also very interesting and parryable as well. I think every assassin but Nuxia can has some attack that can, after which they can deflect the deflect, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
Big fan. So yeah, like Nuxia has a good feat.
She actually has 2 feet.
Yeah, on the same tier. she has 2 good feats, but they're on the same tier. So that's very fun. She has cold traps, which are very good at clearing mid. But if you're clearing mid as Nuxia, you're getting feats, and you don't want to be getting your feats because that means someone else is not getting feats. And they're good for like defending points and shit. And then she has Thick Blood, which is good at making shaman players rage. and she has Bounty Hunter.
What about Infection? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the 3-minute cooldown tier for feet that doesn't kill.
And I died to it once a couple days ago.
I haven't died to it yet since March of Fire released, actually, now that you mention it.
I saw it once, and I rolled away, and then I didn't see it anymore.
She popped it as I got hit with a heavy, and then it killed me.
The play is to wait till the commander, and then pop it.
And then pop it on the commander, and then you have 5 seconds of being able to hit the commander. Because everyone's just going to leave, so you have 5 seconds. That's actually pretty good.
I'm glad I didn't say that a lot of the feats that they added are really well thought out, because we haven't talked about this one yet.
Yeah, it is correct that all the feats that they did add are pretty well thought out. I like the idea of some of them,
and they're unique. Yeah, like my general statement about Marching Fire is like, that's not as bad as I thought in a lot of ways.
And then you realize it's still For Honor, but the expansion itself is good. At least a lot of the things in it are good. And then
I think in March of Fire, a lot of the stuff they took risks with that they don't normally do paid off, and a lot of the stuff they decided to stay cautious with, do the same old, didn't.
I don't know if they even took that many risks, because when it comes to things like feats, for example, people have been asking for variety and for uniqueness for a while.
Yeah, but they did it. Like, they didn't just add more feats that behave like old feats.
Yeah, risk from the perspective of the dev team that took over a year to change Warden's Zone by 100 milliseconds.
Oh, yeah, you're right, actually.
Yeah, that's a big risk to add freaking caltrops, spiky things on the ground. Hold up.
We only had until that patch, we only had spiky feats on our armors, and now
exactly.
And now it's here. Huh. But yeah, Nuxia, like in 1v1, she's not bad. She's probably like low A, I would think, mid A. Her traps are not usable, but what they do is they make her heavies a little bit safer.
Yeah.
But they are just reactable with light attack, so just light attack. But she has 2 400 miss lights in a row, which is a very good tool that also makes it so that her initial design of, here's this new mechanic, is not a thing, because the new mechanic is you have 2 400 miss lights in a row. Maybe that's the new mechanic, actually, instead of 1. And so there we go. Like in 1v1, she's probably again like low to mid A. I would not be surprised. And 4v4, I don't think she's usable even in like somewhat higher level matchmaking. Like I would think she's maybe low B in 4v4, something like that. Maybe mid B, because she can somewhat chase people down, and that's about it. And she can clear mid, but she doesn't really want to be clearing mid, because if she is clearing mid, that means someone else is not clearing mid. So someone else is not getting their feats, right?
Yeah.
She's okay at 1v1. She's not good at team fights. She's not good at 1vx, really. She's okay at 1vx. She's not good at ganking. She's not good at anything really that's not 1v1, really. So, in the 1v1 she's okay. So that's why like it elevates it to, I would say, like B. Also, according to the Ubisoft site, she has quick dodge attacks that isolate her opponents into duels. That is there's a true description of the character that Ubisoft has put out with the new description of the character. And so what that means is that, you think you're playing Breach, right? You think you're queued up for Breach, and then you get in a team fight, you're about to kill the commander, and you get hit by her quick dodge attack, and you're teleported back to Season 1 Forest Bridge map. and you have to 1v1 a Shugoki.
Oh no.
That is the official description. Dodge attacks that isolate her opponents into duels. It's like they had 2 things to talk about, and they talked about them, like they fused the 2 things.
Yeah, wait, why do we have to use 2 sentences here? I don't have time for that.
Yeah,
let's just do 1 sentence.
Yeah, because quick dodge attacks. She doesn't have quick dodge attacks, but I mean, whatever. Like, cool. And then the other thing is isolate her opponents into duels. She wants to do that because she has a feat that that makes her deal more damage, right? And she's pretty good in 1v1. But then they fuse that into 1 sentence. It's not okay. Whatever.
It's like what Jeebus just said. But then you get hit by Valk's charged heavy.
Oh yeah, we can talk about the site at the end again. I wanna talk about some fun things again. But yeah, when it comes to her, like she's I think B tier at best in 4v4, and then 1v1 she's okay. If 2v2 she's also gonna be not very good. So yeah, I think that's about it for the new heroes. Obviously, we could talk a lot longer about some of them, especially Shaolin and Jiang, as those are the ones that we've played the most. But that's about it for the characters, I think. So let's now move on to... Okay, let's see if I can do this. Let's go. Breach. So that's a mode that you can play in the game. And let me move it a little bit. So when it comes to Breach, I assume you guys have been playing it a lot the past week or so. So
Yep.
how are your general feelings for now?
You should go crack.
General feelings about Breach?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Not particularly positive.
Row.
Whoa.
Because it doesn't support or incentivize competitive play enough.
No, not at
And
all.
I have nothing to aim for other than casual matchmaking.
Yeah, it doesn't. There's nothing competitive about it. You cannot play tournaments. So.
I mean, yeah.
No, thank you, thank you, Craig. Setback. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, from a casual perspective, there's a lot. The cool things about it, it's genuinely enjoyable. There's a lot of dumb things about it as well.
Well, that's
I think a lot
in general, yeah.
Yeah. I think some of them can be fixed relatively easily by most dev teams. But I think some of them are probably unsolvable, especially with the rate as which they fix stuff in For Honor usually.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, it's okay. But yeah, there's no competitive future whatsoever with it that I can see.
So when it comes to Breach, someone asked already, why does it not support tournaments? Because there is no win condition. That's the biggest deal when it comes to how to play. Like, how are we gonna play a tournament when we don't know what the Sabag, I can hear you in my mic. I can hear me.
Oh, sorry about
microphone. So we there's no way to play a tournament when there's no winning conditions at the moment. So ranked is not gonna work, something like that. Someone asked, what win condition do we need? I don't know. We're not the devs. Like, they're the ones who have to come up with one, and just have to tell us, well, how are we gonna play? Give us all the statistics as well. Give us all the stats at the end of the game, so we can decide if they don't feel competent enough to decide on us themselves, and then we can somewhat play tournaments. Now, of course, the competitive scene is dead anyway, but maybe some people would play it. But yeah, as it is right now, it's clearly not meant for competitive. But then at the end, it's also clearly not meant for casual. You cannot play this mode casually, I don't think. Because
it's in a weird place, yeah, it's a good point.
It's not meant for casuals, because if you play it by yourself, well, I'm sure you guys know what happens when you play it by yourself. Right?
You go insane.
You go insane, because nobody knows what the hell is going on, because of
it's
this
a very elaborate skirmish when you play so...
Because as per usual, Ubisoft didn't say anything, right? About how to play the mode, they didn't even explain what the mode is, didn't explain what all the things in the mode are, right? So nobody knows what the hell to do, because how would they know, right? So they have no clue what to do, and I know what to do, but then my entire team doesn't, right? So then I'm playing by myself, and hoping my team maybe does something sometime, but they never do, and it's like, okay, well, this clearly isn't a casual mode. But it's not a competitive mode either. They clearly don't care about competitive, and they've never done. So then, what is this?
Well, I mean, to be fair, they have attempted to explain it, but that none of that's in game really.
Well, and did they though? Because all I've seen is one video of either new players or some voice actors that have never seen the game, just talking about the game. And just talking about, oh yeah, here's phase 1. You have tickets up on the screen, and then you have minion, and then you have gate, and you have a new ram, and then you have king, and that's it.
Well, and the issue with that is the raw number of people who are going to use external resources to learn how to play a game mode is so small. It's probably less than 2% of the player population that's going to do that. And the videos are probably low quality and bad. I haven't watched them, but I've heard many a meme about them.
Yeah, they don't even have any videos about them. They have that one video that I talked about that is simply just, I guess, some voice actors who have never seen the game before, right? And then when it comes to external sources, I mean, There's my video, but no one's gonna give a fuck about my video, right? And so then, like, how else are they gonna learn if the game itself doesn't tell them what the hell's going on? And then the problem with that as well is the game mode, with the way the renown works in Breach, the game mode itself doesn't incentivize you to do the things that you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
because you don't get, for example, you don't get any renown for being near a ram and pushing it. Even though you're supposed to be doing this, right? You're supposed to do it because if you push the ram, it goes twice as quick. And if it's charged, if it's like docked on the gate, then you go from 50 seconds, I think, of charge up time if you're not around, to 15.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's like game breaking. Like if like that's what I started doing towards the end. Last few nights I was playing, I just sat there and start going bottom of the scoreboard, but I'm fucking putting that ram on my back and carrying it to the finish line.
Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't the game mode, like it doesn't give you things for what you're supposed to be doing. It doesn't give you renown for what you're supposed to be doing. It gives you
renown. Any for flag plant, right? You don't get any for that.
No. For flag plant, you get like 50 renown. That's good. They've added. They've added like we've talked about this in the past. I'm not sure. Whatever, but they've added some ways to gain renown that they haven't had in the past. They've added revives. They've added flags. They've added the cauldron. If you hit the ram of the cauldron, you get a little bit of renown, but not too much. You get barely any, really, but you get some for fortifying and capturing archery points on the side, right? You get some for that, but you get way too much for killing minions.
Yeah.
I think they thought that it would be difficult to kill minions, but it really isn't. It really isn't difficult to kill the minions, and so. You can and you get so much renown that you just get your tier 4 in phase 1 if you just kill minions and do nothing else. The number of minions is very low because it's only 15 in mid. I think it should be higher with like maybe 6 renown per kill or something like that. So then and then add more ways to like I want them to add more ways to gain renown, but they just added them and did nothing else. They like didn't balance them around too much. They just added new ways and like. There you have it. You get
without balancing the renown for each of the objectives. And balancing that over how long it takes to how many feats you're probably going to get phase 1, what feats you're probably going to be at halfway through phase 2.
How many there's a lot of like smaller issues, like for example the Guardian. I'm talking about the Guardian just because I remember that he exists. The Guardian spawns at random times. He spawns at either 0 seconds, like not either, it's like anywhere between 0 seconds into a phase or 120 seconds. There's a 2-minute window where we don't know if he's gonna spawn or not. And then
what's the reasoning for something like that?
I have no clue.
It's infinite replayability. No two games
it's like roguelike.
Yeah. And then you have, as when you kill the Guardian for the first time, the second time he respawns, he's going to respawn between minutes 3:30 and 5:30. So there's again a 2-minute window. So you don't know when he's going to be spawning. And so you just have to guess, I guess. So that's just like smaller issues. But yeah, renown is a huge issue, I think, in Breach. I think
it's definitely a big deal.
Yeah, I think the boosts are extremely just boring. I think they should be made a lot better. I think they should be a lot more creative. I think we said this in the
we mentioned this way back, like the test for that. Some Breach specific boosts would be really cool.
Yeah, and then there should be, for example, instead of the attack buff and the defense buff, I think there should be something else. I think the speed buff is really nice. I think there should be more of it.
But I think, that's good.
But because it's only in 2 phases, like it's only in phase 1 on 2 maps, and that's it. And so because of that. Well, that's like the only one that doesn't affect the gameplay as much as defensive.
It's in phase 2, isn't it? On the I think it is in the which was called. I can't remember what it's called. The names of it. I think it's the samurai one, right?
No, it's not there.
Yeah, phase 2, and then maybe it is phase 1. Okay, right. It's like next to the Guardian, kind of,
that's
right?
Oh yeah, actually, it is. Yeah, you're right. It is there in the summer.
Game's fixed. We did it.
Game fixed. Yeah, that's another thing. Maps are very inconsistent.
Yeah.
I thought, like when I was making my video, and I think that's a mistake I made, that I said it's only in phase 1 those 2 maps, and it's also in phase 2 on that one map. But it's like it's not consistent between the maps at all. Like, is it to make it different between the maps? But that just makes it so that there's even less way. Like, a new player is gonna start and it's like, okay, so in this phase, this is what I have to play with, and then they play a different map and they're just like, oh, never mind, I guess. Again, another issue. And I think, yeah, when it comes to like the mode itself, I think renown is the biggest issue. And boosts and things like that are a huge issue as well. But competitively wise, the lack of win condition is the biggest issue. It's impossible to have a tournament. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a mode that like cannot be fixed. I just think it will not be fixed necessarily. But I mean, it'd be nice if it did, because it seems to be like one of the things where like they want to balance the game around it too much. But yeah, just I don't know. That's just my rant. I guess.
The games are so long.
Oh
too.
yeah, why did I forget about that? That's a huge issue for matchmaking.
Option.
Yeah, they said publicly.
Please.
They said publicly they do not want a surrender option.
Why?
I don't know.
What was the reasoning? If they said that, did they give a reason?
They gave a reason. I don't know. I forget because it was just.
Does anyone in chat know why?
It was super random, I assume, because I think it's because they said that per minute you get more steel XP, so it's fine.
People, what?
Yeah, they said.
I think it's
fine.
basically they don't want to deal with like because that's a whole separate topic. Like team game modes and surrendering early or not. Like that's been a big thing with a lot of different types of games, like Dota and League.
Yeah, but
have like.
Yeah, but those are the.
I mean, can it at least be when there's 4 bots on the other team, the game ends?
Nah.
No.
Just auto win? No.
No.
You're still getting steal. You're still getting steal, bro.
Dude, fucking hell.
Maybe what they did here is they recognized that the player base doesn't care about the quality; they just care about the steal and the XP. So they just
steal and XP.
So they just give more of that. And
well,
so like, it's fine now.
The funny thing is, I was gonna mention this earlier, like when we were talking about arcade mode, because that's like the big bullet point, right? To justify the $30 price tag for Marching Fire.
Mm-hmm. You get like nothing.
Yeah, it's like so if they don't want people to surrender, and then like justification is it's fine, you get steal, but then they just like give away all these new characters. You just have to wait 2 extra weeks, but then you can spend steal on them, like. I don't know, like the whole like economy with Marching Fire seems wacky to me. Like not a bad way from a well, if you buy it, I guess it's bad. But you know what I mean? Like it's really weird how arcade mode is like the thing and it's bad. But they have a whole new game mode, which is interesting. It's very flawed, but Breach is interesting.
Yeah.
They have 4 new characters that you can earn with in-game currency. It's like they're being, in a way, too generous. They like the actual $30 price tag. Isn't really justified to me with just arcade mode and getting the characters early. But it's hard to complain about that because you can just buy the shit with steel.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like personally, I'm okay with the 30 for the arcade and 60,000 steel.
I think it should be possible to buy the things separately, but then again, I would assume that not many people would buy it then. Like nothing many people would buy arcade if they could just buy the characters separately.
Well, I mean, yeah, stuff is in a bundle, so people purchase it, so teams make money.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. What I mean is like if you could buy arcade for $10, and you could buy the heroes for $15 or $20 or something like that. But then many people probably not even buy the arcade, and they would just make less money, I assume. So
yeah, I think that's what would happen.
So then I understand that not being a thing, but yeah, it's just like whatever the price tag is. And then also when it comes to Breach, what we talked about with the surrender option being 100% needed, and then the other thing being the games are way too long. Like how like a game that's over at minute 10 is usually 30 minutes. And so because of that, it's actually a torture to play fucking Breach. Like I don't want to play Breach on stream, even though I don't think it's like terrible or anything. I just don't want to play it because every time I get new players in my game. Whether I solo queue or I'm in a force tag, I get just new players or people who are like rep 10. That's pretty much new players, and they either all leave and I have to play against bots because if I don't, then I'm just not gonna get any reward at all or anything like that, which I don't personally care about, but obviously some people do, and then it's just impossible to have fun if it's not like I think, okay, I've said this many times on stream, but I think it's cool when, oh no, how Royals changed pop music. Thanks a lot.
I remember that video. So good.
Yeah.
So good.
What are we gonna play here for the last?
Play my Brawls video with JJ.
Did you just upload it?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna play your
Today was Jules against the Shaolin.
Okay, I'm gonna play my video then. Fuck you.
No, dude. No, your own video on your own podcast? That's uncouth.
I'm one playing my videos today. Someone's gotta watch them. I don't. Oh yeah, we reached 3K subs today. I think somewhere. I think we did. Wow.
Let's go.
On Twitch, of course. On Twitch. Yeah. All right. So, Cholani, can we get jobs? Can we get
That's
jobs?
a good comment.
Can we get Twitch jobs if you're watching here? Because I'm only here honestly for the jobs.
I'm watching this on my microwave. Can I get Twitch drops even if I'm using the microwave? I'm melting cheese in it.
Oh god. But yeah, one more thing. Yeah, like the games are way too long, especially on attackers. Like if I play attackers, I just want to leave immediately. Like so many times I've just been against new players or against bots, and I'm like, am I allowed to leave? Is everything gonna be okay if I just leave this game? But yeah, just like there needs to be win conditions for both competitive and also more win conditions for the attackers. More ways so that they can win in phase 1 and win in phase 2.
Like there needs to be at least a way to like if it's a stomp to dramatically speed up the entire process. I don't know how. Like I don't even know how they do it.
What they could do is, for example, if a team is breaking phase 1 or something, the king comes out or some shit, or they go straight to phase 3. I don't know. Like
something. I like that. I like just sending the king out just to fucking be slaughtered.
Just send him out here. You send him out the doors, you just can't.
Don't let him use the ladder, just throw him off the ledge.
Yes.
Actually, that's a kindness to the king because ladders in this game are scary.
Yeah, especially in Beachhead or on campaign. In the campaign, they're pretty scary.
Campaign is worse.
Yeah. So yeah, like there needs to be more win condition for the attackers. And they're just like, I think it's really cool when a game is super close, that it's 30 minutes long, because then it's like a lot of hype moments, a lot of ways to outplay. But when it's just a stomp, it should not be 30 minutes. And I don't care about that. Oh, but you get more fucking steal or XP. I would rather have more fun than I would.
I'd rather have my life.
You can just re-queue for another game. Like
just re-queue. Yeah. Alright. I'm sure you're gonna one time get a good game.
Yeah, like that's true though. Like the close games of Breach have been some of my favorite. Like For Honor games in recent memory. Like there's just a lot of stuff going on, like which is overwhelming to new players, but there's a lot to keep track of. There's newer characters are fun to play for the most part, and then just like there's a lot of moments where individually you can kind of shine, which is rare in For Honor. It's mostly just coordinated, very safe play. But in 4v4 Breach, it's kind of a clusterfuck sometimes, and people are still learning things, so it feels kind of fresh, kind of fun. You can kind of get away with stuff.
Yeah, but then the issue is you have to play 30 minutes of it every time, whether you like it or not. I think that's the biggest problem with the surrender option also for casual. Like I think the mod is gonna die, and I ironically think it's gonna die. Unless they again make the steal rewards like insane and XP rewards like insane.
I mean they're pretty good right now, aren't they? I've noticed.
But
really good.
But are they for 5 minutes of Breach gameplay? Do you get way more than you get for 5 minutes of Dominion, or do you not?
I mean, if I'm inside
of 5-minute games of Dominion though.
Maybe
like if I'm in a game of Breach too, like the less games I play, the less likely I get an instant error when the game starts, and then I have to re-queue again. So that's a positive, I think.
50% more XP no matter what, 20% more steal. Yeah, but do you mean 50% more XP compared to Dominion? Because what they did is they upped it by 50% or 55 or something. But does it mean that now you get 50% for a minute of Breach more than you get for a minute of Dominion? Or like a game of Dominion?
Why don't they just give us $1 for every Breach game?
Yeah, that'd be nice. Just actually bribe us to play the mode.
Okay, can we just work on balancing the mode and update it with a
No, let's keep it shit, but I want to make a little bit more money.
Yeah, like if the mode doesn't give you like way more for a minute of breach than you get for a minute of the minion or a game of the minion, then I think it's gonna die because it's just a torture. I don't think people like it. And playing it like it legitimately doesn't feel fun when it's not close.
Yeah, the highs are high in breach, but the lows are very low and very
lows,
long. Very often.
The lows are like elimination. The lows are like elimination queues. Like those are. That's how it feels. It's just like nothing's happening for 20 minutes and then it's over because the game just fucking. But it's like elimination queues, but you get the reward for them. So like you queue for 15 minutes and then you have to queue again for 15 minutes and then you get a reward and that's it. That's breach if it's not close. So yeah, I think it's gonna die, which it's a shame because it was definitely if it had been done well, it was definitely a way to make it so that competitive is a lot closer to casual because it'd be a lot. There's so much to look out for, and there's so many ways to, as we said, like show your skill that people would maybe like to get a little bit better at that, and then of course people will be more interested in high level plays, but that's not possible if the game was just gonna die in a week, right? Which I think it will, not necessarily in a week, but in in a month or so. But yeah, I guess with this depressing comment, we can finish the breach section. Unless you guys have anything else to say?
No, I don't think so.
I think the game mode will be okay on a casual level for quite a while, possibly, depending on the rewards as we talked about.
Yeah, I think I don't think it's going to fully die for quite some time, but it's definitely going to dramatically lose most of the player base playing it. And like I said, the main reason is because it's so long. And there's just, even with like something like League of Legends, like when they had, you know, like dumb, faster modes and shit, even like Dota too, like even though that mode was shit, like AREM or whatever it's called, all random easy mode, that mode's garbage in Dota. A lot of people still played it because it was faster. That's it. Like I want more time to live my life sometimes, you know, and a lot of people think that way. So that's, I think, a big thing they need to work on is making stomps and unfavorable games go by faster, and that will hopefully retain more players.
Yeah, like again, like I think the mode, if it's done well, it's a great mode for the game, possibly nice for casual and really nice for competitive. But the way it is right now, I think it's nice for nobody. Is I guess kind of the especially in matchmaking, and for competitive again we cannot play it, so it's like, what am I meant to do with this? All right, so I think that's about it for breach. So now I think last thing before we go to Q&A is going to be perks. So we can talk about perks. We've obviously talked about them in the past already, but that was more speculation. But now we can actually talk about hard facts and logic, and
destroy
everybody with our facts and logic. So perks. What do you guys think? First of all, of the system, just like in case. People don't necessarily know our opinion, I guess. What do you guys think about the system as a whole?
Removal of gear stats is amazing. Gear stats are dumb. And then the introduction of perks is, I like it, but flawed.
Okay.
All this stuff. That's it.
Okay.
Much better than gear stats, though.
Yeah. Literally, they could just remove gear stats and add nothing else, and it'd be like, amazing change. Thank you, Ubisoft.
Yes.
So can you imagine that being a bullet point in the back of the Martian Firebox? Remove the feature from this product. No. And everyone's like, yes!
Yes, the game has less. Yes! Wouldn't it even be in the back, will be in the front. That's like the main thing. Marching Fire, that'd be like, For Honor, Marching Fire Edition, and just below it, no gear sets.
In the corner, now featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
Oh, yeah.
All new funky mode. But for me personally, perks, I think they're way better than gear stats, like you guys said. And then the nice thing is they surprisingly, most of them don't matter that much, so they, you know, either have them or you don't. It's not a big deal. However, there are some that are pretty ridiculous. Still way better than gear stats, but and easily fixable with a normal dev team.
Bro.
Yeah. So I like them overall. I think it's way better, and hopefully they can just tweak some things and make them good.
Okay, I'll go into the game right now to show you guys some of the stronger perks in general. Not perks. Yeah, perks. Yeah, Yeah, well, why did they perks?
I think it's because you used to accidentally call them that before they actually.
Oh yeah, I remember someone asking me like after Matching Fire had come out, someone asking me in my chat like, "What do you think about the like which perks do you run?" And I'm like, "Okay, well I run this and this and this," and they're like, "Oh no, I mean feats." Even after Matching Fire, like, no, I mean feats, guys. I'm sorry. So yeah, for perks, generally speaking, some of them, like, I think it is like, obviously, as we said, like, it's really good that they added them. It's really not good that they're not balanced at all. Some of them are way too strong, some of them are way too weak. And so that's kind of it. When it comes to like some of the perks that are too strong, the defense ones, like 3 or 4 of them are just way too strong. Or maybe the offensive ones are too weak. I'm not sure where the line is here.
Yeah, there's some people talking about some things in chat too that we should have brought up. Like for me, that especially newer player or someone coming back to For Honor experience, perks are a fucking hot mess. Again, shout out to the UI team on this one. Yeah. It's very just to see what perks you're able to get. Takes a little bit from a new player perspective to realize what's happening. You don't know like what combinations there are intuitively through the in-game menu. You have to upgrade stuff to have all the as many combinations as possible at high level gear. And you kind of have to, like, every time you want to shuffle things around, you kind of have to look at every single piece of gear and play like this mix and match game. You can't just like say, oh, I want these arms to these arms. You have to go, okay, well, if I swap out these arms, that means I swap out this leg, but then I don't have this perfect amount there. I have to level that one up. It's like, I just want to fucking wear shit sometimes. I don't want to sit there and count like 8 different pieces of armor. And then I'd have to change how they look because they probably look like trash, half of them. Like, there's a lot of investment for like just so I can fucking get 10 health when I kill somebody.
Yeah, give me a second to fix this because this is clearly not working. I was supposed to, so I'm just gonna make it game capture. I'm just gonna make it work, but yeah, it's there are issues with it. Like as you said, that part is kind of very, very, very annoying. Where the hell is this?
Like, it'd be so easy. Well, not easy. Okay, I'll rephrase it. What I think they could do, which probably would be very hard for the dev team, would be to imagine if you just had like a little, like, World of Warcraft has like a little cutout of a human when your gear breaks or something in the corner, and then it's just like your head slot goes here, your armor goes here, your chest goes here, blah blah blah. You can just throw stuff in there, like you don't have to commit to anything. You just like throw it in there temporarily, and it just tells you boom boom boom. Here's all the things you get when you have this combination of things. You lock it in and you save it as a set. That way you can just like go back and forth very quickly. I hate having to like go through each piece of gear individually. These are all the armors I have, and I have to jump on over to like my hilts on my sword to see what combination I get there. It'd be nice if I could say, organize it all by these 2 perks. Can I get this? Throw it in a temporary spot and then commit to it. Save it as a set of armor or a loadout.
Yeah, it took me like I think like 50,000 steel to do the like unintended triple perk fucking build that was available that then they removed. But then I just went, okay, so let me just get a normal build that I want to have on my Nebusha. It took me like 10,000 steel as well, 15,000 steel, and it was very frustrating to be able to do that. And it's just like, wow, it's very weird, yeah, as you said. But yeah, when it comes to the actual perks themselves, like if you look at the offensive perks, they're kind of not very good. Gale Storm is okay. Upon hero kill, gain 20% move speed for 10 seconds. That's okay. That's fine, I think, for a perk. Devour, upon execution, heal an additional 15 health. That's fine. Early Reaper, upon spawn on when revived, your first attack deals 20% more damage. That's so bad. That's one of the worst ones, I think, overall. And endurance is pretty mediocre as well. Just a little bit stamina cost reduction, not very good. Headhunter, for each unique player / bot hero executed, increases max health by 4. That's okay-ish, I think. Like 16 additional health, that's pretty okay, especially on assassins. Crush them, upon hero kill, your next attack deals 20% more damage. Again, pretty bad, I think. And survival instinct, running critical health gain 15% stamina cost reduction. What even is that?
Whoa.
What even is that?
Think of all the low life parry attempts you can go for and feint.
Amazing. Yeah, it's just the offensive perks are just really bad. Now we have the defensive perks. On the other hand, we have shields up upon spawn. On when revived, receive a 15 health shield. So then, whenever you're revived with Rising Dawn, for example, or maybe even Protected Revive, but let's just say Rising Dawn, you have 75% health, and then you get 15 health additionally whenever you get revived. That's a really strong perk. And then you have a Last Stand, which is pretty mediocre. Aegis, which is all the shields received are increased by 20%. Like, you can stack that up so hard with Protected Revive, with shields up, later on with Vengeful Barrier, all of those, you can stack that up so much. So that, you can have like 300 or 200 something health, I think, the most possible. Bastion, when in a zone or carrying a banner / offering, gain 10% damage resistance. That, I heard, is pretty good. Vengeful Barrier, when exiting Revenge, gain a 25 health shield. Again, really strong. Anytime you're low, you can just be like, okay. And then you get Revenge, and then you just get additional 25 health. Or maybe even more if you have eggs, then you get like 30 or something like that, right?
Yeah, no, that's incredibly strong. Like you don't even have to do anything when you get revenge. You just get revenge, leave it because nobody wants to do anything while you're in revenge, and now you get that shield. So you've almost like nullified the damage it took to get revenge.
Yeah, and
not all the way, but
so that's again really, really strong. That's more like less a perk and more a feat, if anything, and in the power level, some of those as well. Bulk Up is pretty okay because it can give you 16 additional health every time when you get a renown level, especially in Breach. That's pretty okay, especially when you're, for example, I don't know, Jiang, who has 145 health if I remember correctly. So that's then he gets a lot more health, and then with other perks and with other feats he can get a lot of health. And the Fresh Focus one is pretty One out of stamina blocks and parries regenerate 20% stamina, and people are just not gonna attack you. So those are really strong. Like the defensive ones are more closer to feats than perks.
I think Fresh Focus is actually not too bad. Like I haven't tried it. I don't think anyone has, have they?
I don't think so.
But I think in theory that one's. I mean, you just nullify a huge chunk of out of stamina pressure anyone can do to you. But I guess how often does that happen in 4v4?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, if they're playing well, they're not going to be attacking you with blockable attacks. They're going to be like doing CC moves anyway, right?
Yeah. Unless you're fighting, I guess people have to get into a chain or something, Yeah,
maybe.
So it's a hard counter to other Orochis.
Whoa.
You're out of stamina.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, exactly. Let's knock him down another notch.
Thankfully. First Ki, I know this. And now the assist perks, I think, are way closer to what perks should be, but still, I think some of them are too strong. Radiant Rebound is, I think, really strong in the minion. Because what it does is when you spawn, so at the beginning of the game or whatever, or when you revive, you gain 20% movement speed for 10 seconds. And that's really strong in the minion, because especially if you're a mid hero, because you get to be in mid before everybody else. Right?
Yeah.
So you just get to get mid and then fight a team fight. But obviously on the other team, they're going to have Radiant Rebound as well, I assume, in the minion. But if they don't, then you get mid for free, and which is a huge deal in 4v4 in the minion. In Breach, I don't think it's as big of a deal to have that. That's why I usually wouldn't run it in Breach. But then you have Remedy, which is pretty much Bounty Hunter that just heals you a little bit less. 10 health every time you get a kill, which of course works on captains as well. Feline Agility, which is pretty mediocre. Like you just get some more movement speed when you get renown levels. That's pretty bad, I think. Rapid Refresh, which is really strong. Rapid Refresh is upon takedown or when reviving an ally, feats active cooldowns are reduced by 5%. Which we, I think, talked about earlier, mentioned with Tiandi and Morale Booster, where it's fucking insane. Whenever you get a revive or, again, a takedown, which can be a kill or an assist, that's insane. Like, I have this on my Nobushi, obviously, because it's really good. And I have second wind like every 45-50 seconds in Breach, every time. I wouldn't have it necessarily in Dominion, but in Breach I think it's insane how strong that one is. Rising Dawn, which revives allies to 75% health, which, I mean, that's obviously really strong. Supersonic, in Revenge, gain 15% movement speed and uninterruptible sprint. I think that's very good. Unless you're like chasing someone down, but then why do you have revenge if you're chasing someone down, I guess?
Uninterruptible sprint poggers.
Poggers, that's what I wanted. But yeah, I
I mean,
don't know, like,
it's pretty underwhelming. I guess the only use is if you're 1v3 or something, you might be able to get away and then just go run to a healing point, I guess, or something. I don't
know. And then clever tactics, which is pretty good as well. Capture a zone and use banner/offerings 15% faster. That's pretty nice, especially for the side lanes. If you're playing a side lane hero. In Breach, you can use that very well. In Dominion, I probably wouldn't use it. In Dominion, I would probably use the Radiant Rebound, the Remedy, and Rising Dawn from the assist perks. So yeah, like I think some of those in assist are kind of strong, but maybe fine. I'm not sure. Of defensive perks, I think all of them are way too strong, and the offensive perks are way too weak. Like there's just nothing here that comes to me like, oh yeah, I really want that in the offensive perks. In the defensive perks, like, holy shit, which one do I want? Because so many of them are good, right? And the assist perks are like, okay, well I want this and this and this. Makes sense.
Yeah, the assist ones, yeah, like you said, are a lot of them are interesting. Well, a lot of them. I guess some of them are interesting. Like Radiant Rebound is a cool idea. I think it's useful in all game modes, and it's kind of unique. Like it's just fun to think about like two Nobushis like sprinting at each other before anyone else and get to mid. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's a fun one. Like you just get somewhere quicker. Like
you get to play. You get to play the game more because you get to run. and cut all the bullshit a little bit more.
They're just a fun perk to have. Some of them are just fun, and sometimes they're good as well. But yeah, like the perks are really nice idea. They're just not quite executed well enough. But fucking no gear stats. That's amazing. That's the most important part. Now let's move on to. I wanted to go go to Q&A immediately, but we could talk about the other changes in Matching Fire that happened. So all the changes to matchmaking, things like that. Do you guys want to talk about that as well?
Yeah, we can touch upon it briefly if you want.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about those? All of the changes to matchmaking, all of the changes to what else were there? Obviously feats, but we talked about the feat changes last time, I think, already. So the feat changes, most of them are really bad, of course. Some of them are good. But yeah, the matchmaking changes have been pretty nice, but matchmaking still is really bad. So that's so that's kind of sucks. Like you're kind of like, oh, maybe I can play matchmaking now, and then no, you cannot. All right. So was there anything else interesting that happened in Matching Fire besides what we talked about?
Did your chair want to say something, Alernakin?
What? Oh. Fuck, it's not working. Well, it broke. It broke. It's shy on camera.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Oh, there we go.
Oh. He baited you twice there.
Baited me twice. What matchmaking change are we talking about? There is this change where now every time you find a new opponent that actually works. So when you go into someone, you play someone in 1v1, you can press find new opponent that actually works. For 5 minutes, and you can do the same in 4v4. You can just leave, and also the reshuffles, which is nice. But it does it still pairs you up with new players, so that's amazing. All right, so I think that's about it when it comes to Matching Fire. So the last part of the podcast is going to be Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, add me in the chat, and we can answer some of those questions, and that's going to be it for today. So let me make sure this works. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, again, add me in the chat, and we can talk about them.
Like Freeze saying, mentioning they didn't change the voice lines, and it just brings me back to how the box of Marching Fire could just been features that they removed out that people hated.
Yeah.
Voice lines, Beachhead Gauntlet removed.
Oh, dude, those maps. So
gear stats. It's pretty sick expansion.
Yeah. I think you should be able, either way. I think you should be able to either video some maps, so I don't have to play on Gauntlet only every time I play, or I make an actual good map pool, I guess.
They should actually just hard IP ban anyone who votes for Gauntlet.
Oh, that would be a better solution, yeah.
Leave it in the UI, and just let people
someone
click
asked
it and get banned.
A really good question. Are there Twitch jobs? Correct? Would you want to answer that one?
You need to do exclamation mark watch time to find out.
Exclamation mark watch time actually lets you know how many drops you've gotten.
Yes.
With Shaolin, the feint unblockable into key can only be done with light. Yes, you can only go into light. You can only go heavy key into that. What about an offense spec that gives shield on kill 20? I mean, that's pretty much the one that's pretty much just heals you for 20. Then it's the same thing pretty much.
Well,
And
yeah, I guess it depends on how long the shield persists, right? Because you can go from one fight to another.
All the shields are, except for Revenge Shield, are permanent, I think, in For Honor. Right? So.
Yeah, so you could go above your normal max HP.
Yeah, that's true, obviously. But what perks would you use for Honor? There's gonna be a video coming, and also the ones I showed. I'm gonna be depending on the mode, it's different. Rising Dawn and Rapid Refresh in Breach, and Remedy, Radiant Rebound, and Rising Dawn in Dominion. And the debate: Aramusha was buffed or nerfed with Marching Fire? Nerfed. You said and displayed in one of your videos you could have 3 perks, but that is no longer the case. You cannot have the best perks, like you cannot have the highest tier perks. 3 of them you cannot have. But you can have like 2 common and 1 higher level still. What about an offensive perk that makes you uninterruptible during an execution? That doesn't sound very good. If it gave you a shield during an execution, for example, like a 50 health shield during an execution, I could see that being pretty good. But if it just makes you uninterruptible, then it's just gonna kill you anyway. You guys seem very down and jaded with For Honor. No way. Like, see how happy we are, except Crack's not very happy on his picture, but Pope is. See how happy everybody is on the... Even Faction War is so happy on the picture there.
Yeah, look at that smile.
Look at that smile. Do you guys see yourself sticking around actively in the Year of Harbinger? What is that?
That's the thing they teased for next year. They just showed a picture of a hammer.
Oh, man. We should do a tease as well. Give me a second. We can make this work.
I don't know if we can.
We can make this work. I'm gonna tease something coming to For Honor soon.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I got a better tease.
What's your tease? We're gonna make videos.
It's very hard to share on stream. You need to clip it.
New season coming soon.
I was here.
I was here. This is the new expansion. Actually, this is the new guest on our podcast. This is the Hammer. All right. So I mean, I don't know. Actively, it depends on how good the game is and how active the scene is, right? I don't know. How about you guys?
For me, it depends on how bad the shit show on YouTube for Honor gets.
Oh yeah, YouTube's insane with how bad it is.
YouTube For Honor is like somehow below Reddit level of IQ. I don't know how, but there you go.
Lower grade of glue that they're sniffing.
Which I don't think is gonna improve, but I don't know. Maybe the game's gonna be like better competitively, which it will not be. Maybe spectator mode is gonna be introduced or something. Like for me, I am not capable of making the content I necessarily want to, because it's not gonna get any attention because of how YouTube works, and it's not going to. Sometimes it's not possible because because the game's dead competitively, and because there is no spectator mode, so I can't necessarily do what I want always. So those things are come around, and maybe, but it depends. Basically, as long as it's viable for me to stream and do For Honor, then I'm gonna do that. I assume it's similar for you guys. What's the strongest character from Marching Fire? Overall, probably Shaolin. In the 4v4, I would probably say JJ, and 1v1 Shaolin. Something like that. Sounds about right, but I'm not sure. What do you guys think?
Yeah, and 1v1 Shaolin or Chicken Tiandis, and then 4v4, yeah, JJ just because of the feats.
Yeah.
And Tiandi would be somewhat behind, but close because of the feats. And that's about it.
Yeah, and then Nuxia is not a hero. Is the perks video just for Nobushi, or are you doing a per hero thing? I don't know. Probably just for Nobushi for now, and then maybe if I feel like I could do it for every hero, I could do it for every hero. How do you think the effects of Sebak's hair change gonna shape the future of For Honor? That's a good question, actually. What do you think?
Let's ask the expert here. Zero Crack, what do you think?
I mean, this is the only thing that keeps me from,
No.
From what?
It keeps me getting up in the morning and playing on that For Honor video game.
Yeah, I just
do it for hair.
The long dark nights, and I look at my many photoshops of Setback and think, God bless this man.
Yeah. Every time I go to bed, on my ceiling I have just a bunch.
Do it for him, dude.
Do it for him. I just have a bunch of photos of Setback. All of I had a bunch of like Actually, never mind. I was gonna be stupid.
Whoa! DM me that thought later.
I have many Setbacks in my room. Can you put my name on the 4th panel? No. Is there anything else? How about hero tactics? Did you talk about that? It's trash. It's trash.
I clicked on hero tactics.
I don't want to click on it because that's gonna be a video. Then
I might just do a reaction video to hero tactics.
Oh, hear the reaction.
This is a good one.
Yep. Why is YouTube full of retards? That's not a good word. You cannot use that word.
I'm sorry, but we do not condone that here. This is a partnered stream. All partners only.
You really can't blame it for that. I mean, there's a lot of issues with the game itself, like just lying to you at every turn that it can. So that's a big issue.
Yeah, but like I would like to believe that people are able to tell if something is wrong.
Well, now that they're new to
an extent, right? And I do not think that extent has been met.
Well, not if they're new to it, right? Like
no,
how would they know?
People who've played 50+ hours.
That's still somewhat new, especially when the game is
100 hours.
Well, when the game is telling you something, like you shouldn't be assuming that's wrong, right? When you try it, like maybe you're like, oh, maybe I did it wrong, or maybe you just stop looking at it, and then you're like, oh, so there's no way to learn the game, and you just quit trying to do that.
For Honor, the perfect storm of ignorance.
Maybe. Can you make a video to explain how much misinformation is going into the community? That series would be very long. I'm not sure if I don't think that would be.
You have to literally cover 2 years of misinformation.
Yeah, and I don't think that would be like. I'm just gonna be telling YouTube people like, "Yo, you're dumb." That's not very smart.
You're just making diss tracks and on YouTube.
Dude, that is the way to enter the drama and save the game at the same time.
At the same time. Do you feel the current state of latency compensation is acceptable? I mean, it's not perfect, but I think right now, as for latency, like lag comp, I think is pretty good. Yeah, I think it's way better.
I think the only issue is that people who have consistently very high ping to the point to where they're, the game can't keep up with their movements. They usually never get kicked out of the game, or it takes quite some time for them.
There should be a limit. You can play with a VPN from Australia to NA servers and play ranked.
Yeah, like why? Yeah, like I don't like.
That should not be.
It seems like a lot of video games struggle with that concept.
Yeah, just
nowadays.
It's like hard limited in ranked, like 80 latency. And
I would be happy with this fucking just 120. I don't want to fight some asshole like 190 ping.
80 latency is 140 ping, 160 ping, which means that's over the lag comp possibility.
Yeah.
Right. But just at least in ranked make like a hard limit of X, and then in other things make a hard limit of like a higher number, so that obviously in casual matchmaking people will be able to play a little bit better. Okay, how to break through Tiandi's defense? His dodge frames are not that good actually. Watch Freeze's video on that, and I think they said like 500 ms into his dodge, which are not that good on his dodge, dragon dodge or whatever. So they're not that great. But basically, if you have good offense, use it. If you don't press buttons. Seems good. Why is Shaolin better than Tiandi in 1v1? He has better offense. Like his chains are pretty much the same. But he has way more than just his chains. Right? He has the kick, he has the indodgeable, he has the 400 MS stoplight, so... In your honest opinion, how long does the game have, especially staying on this path? I think the game's gonna be doing very well, casually, but competitively, unless Ubisoft starts randomly carrying, which they have not been doing for the past 2 years, then I don't think anything's gonna happen. And this was their opportunity to say, oh yeah, we care about competitive, but all they said is, oh yeah, let's never Musha. So, I think that was their way of saying, fuck off. Which many people have already done so. How do you play Shaolin in Force? Can his dodge heavy, key side heavy act similar to Nobushi's Sidewinder for teamfight? You wait for your tier 3 and then you heal everybody in your team. Other than that, you 1v1 and go for small skirmishes. How do you fix the defensive meta? You play Soulcalibur. I don't know. You play 4v4 and
you make your own custom Magikarp or Bowsette character in Soulcalibur.
Lizard.
No.
Surely by next season they will fix the game. Now that X is out, they can work on fixing the game. Yeah. Now that X is out, we've been saying this for a while, haven't we? Now that Shinobi is out and Sent is out, maybe they can work on the old heroes. Nope. Now that the new mode is out, nope. Now that this new mode is out, nope.
Now that Aramush has finally been nerfed, he can finally be buffed.
How would you change or improve perks? I mean, buff the ones that are good, that are bad, and nerf the ones that are too good. I mean, it's pretty simple, I think. And some of them, like, some of them are obviously just way too weak, and some of them are way too strong. So those are easy fixes. And then it's very easy with perks to just add some every season. So just make new perks. Fuck it, why not? Just fucking at this point, like when it comes to changes in Fortnite, I'm just like, fuck it, why not? Just do something. At this point, just like do some, press a button, Ubisoft. We want to press buttons too. Press a button. Okay. Are there any other questions? Because then I think we'll be ending soon. Because we've been going for an hour and 46 minutes, which is pretty nice, I think. But I think that's gonna be about it then. So thank you guys for watching the edition. What was it? Number 10, I think.
The big 1-0.
Yeah, the big 1-0 with 0 crack.
Let's go.
Whoa. 3 very partnered, 2 very handsome streamers, and a hammer, very big tease as well for next season. I'm going to have many hammers on my streams when that comes, so please make sure to check that out.
Just slide on me.
Yeah, so thank you, Crack. Thank you, Setback. Do you have any shoutouts to do? Maybe shout out Ubisoft, do UI team, something like that.
Shout out to Alernakin for hosting me 300 times and for doing the podcast.
It's been about 300, yeah.
Shout out. Shout out to the smug emote.
Oh, thank you, smug emote. Very cool.
That's a good emote. Shout out to whoever made Jiang Jun's hitboxes.
That's toxic. Shout out to the walls.
They're excellent.
Shout out to the wall.
If I'm backed against the wall with some pressure, I just die.
The wall's the pressure.
Shout out to the feet.
I'm literally between a rock and a hard place. Nice.
Shout out to the team that didn't have morale booster. Thank you very much. Shout out to the spectator mode team. Yeah, I'm sure there's one.
Hey, they're working on it.
They're working
since launch.
It's okay. Just wait. Alright. So thank you guys for watching. You can check these people out. But you don't really want to. They're not very. You can check them out somewhere, I'm sure.
The hammer.
Yeah, yeah, you definitely should check out the hammer.
Faction War. Picnic.
I think Seba has a very active MySpace account, so you can check him out there.
Go back and watch Breaking Bad.
Yeah, go watch some Breaking Bad with Mr. Pope. So thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time.